Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday, August 7th. Don't know what day it is. It's funny, though, because I have to look at my phone sometimes and go, where are we again? Well, good morning, everybody. So it's been a little bit of an earlier morning for me than normal, so my apologies. I've already had my coffee, so I'm on to the Diet Coke. However, I do have a mug of the day and lots of fun stuff for us. So if you are just waking up, good morning. If you are, if it's like super duper early where you are, my apologies. And if you happen to be somewhere else where maybe you're a little bit ahead of us scheduling wise, good early afternoon, I guess, to you. So lots to share with you today. As always, Eric is here. You know, we were just looking at our calendar.
Hello.
Our calendar, which for the next couple of months is going to be a bit crazy with some trips back and forth to Virginia for college move-in for my son, but also to kind of go dog sit and do some things like that for my oldest. And we just realized that there might be a Monday or two where Eric has to do coffee time. So he's like, "Wait, am I going to have to do coffee time?" I'm like, give the people what they want. So
have to, doing a lot of work. Get to.
I
don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, no. People are excited. So Rob says, let me pop this up real fast. Rob says, this morning I woke up thinking it was Sunday until I realized I watched the Sunday Drive yesterday. Well, I'm really glad that our Sunday drives can remind you what day it is. That's funny, though.
We are the way people mark the time.
We are the way people mark the time. You know, speaking of marking the time, we used to do that with Disney when our kids were little.
I was going to say exactly the same thing.
You really?
That's how we mark the time. It's like we could remember what year it was by, and we still do.
We still do.
Yeah.
But when our kids were little and we lived in Virginia, that was we really did. We kind of marked the time together as a family with each of those different trips that we took to Disney. So very cool that we now live here in Disney's backyard. But anyway, so good morning again. If I did not say good morning to you specifically, my apologies. I think I got everybody, but if not, you know I love you. And I know there's a lot of people that watch that don't necessarily comment. So to all of you, hello and good morning as well. So let's go ahead and get into what's brewing, because again, as always, we say it's going to be a short show and then it ends up not being that. So we're going to go ahead and go to what's brewing. Okay, so our three topics today, back to school, Mega Millions, to re or not to re. Those are the topics for today. So what?
You said to re or not to re. Those are the topics. It was like you almost went Shakespearean.
Oh.
Those
are the topics. No, they are. Those are the topics for today. And it's funny, you know, when Eric and I, all throughout the week, situations happen, conversations happen, showings or houses happen, just little things here and there. We're always like, oh, we should make that a what's brewing topic. And then when we were like, okay, what are the what's brewing topics? We're like, what did we pick again? And like, did we do that one already? So, you know, gonna have to bear with us. But yeah, so for today's topics, we've got back to school, Mega Millions, and to re or not to re. So let's go first with our back to school, because obviously we've already seen, we start back this week. I just saw on Facebook my grand niece, not a grand niece. It can't be a grand niece. What is she? Is it a grand niece? Lily. Yeah. Is she my grand niece? Yeah. I guess she is. Anyway, I saw her back to school picture this morning. So obviously schools, you know, not just Florida start in August. There are other states and other areas where schools start a little bit sooner than where they did back home for us, where it started after Labor Day. So if you are among those areas that are going back to school, yay. And I'm so sorry, both in the same breath, because, you know, I always think back to those times. And this is literally the first year I don't have somebody going into regular public school. So it's kind of a little sad, although as they get older and they go back to high school, you know, the buying of the backpack and the lunchbox and all the school supplies, which can be a challenge, you know, it can be frustrating, but at the same time, I always thought it was fun, you know, and you take a picture of each of the kids and their backpack and their lunchbox for the year, and that would go in the scrapbook. And gosh, I haven't scrapbooked in forever now, but we do have those treasured photos from when they were little. So I like seeing that from people on Facebook and from friends on Facebook. And anyway, so if that is you find yourself scurrying around, or maybe your kids are already off to school, or maybe they're starting, next week. hang in there. It's going to be okay. And you know what? Next summer will be here before you know it. And on that note, I actually chose a fall color today. I know it's not fall. I know that. We are all very well aware that August is still summertime. But, back to school,
yeah.
It feels like it triggers it, right? It's like there's already Halloween decorations up in stores. And we say that every year, too. It gets earlier and earlier and earlier. But I think for those of us that have been enduring the incredible heat here lately, specifically in Florida, but everywhere, we're kind of, at least we like to have the mental mindset of, oh, fall's coming.
Amy?
Oh, no.
Amy, I'm getting late word.
Do not encourage
Amy,
this behavior.
No, this is truly breaking news.
Truly.
I need you to look at your comments and see what Susie Q just said.
Susie Q?
Because Susie Q has breaking news of her own.
Yes, I know. Yes. So Susie Q has her pre-drywall this morning. We are super, super duper excited. And remember, like seriously, I know we talked on the phone the other day. Don't forget, I'm right here on standby. You know what to look for, questions to ask. Just let me know if you have any questions. Like that's sidebar. I'm right here. Like literally, it's right here. Okay, I've got you. So let me know if there's anything you need. But yes, that is very exciting. These monumental little stamps kind of along the new construction journey are big ones. And pre-drywall is definitely a big one because that really kind of signifies the pretties are going to start to happen really soon. And that long journey of waiting for it to finally break ground and then wait for the first floor and then the second floor. And then you're starting to see the plumbing and the HVAC and the electrical and all that stuff. It starts to get really exciting. And the pre-drywall really starts to signify, okay, walls are going up. Stuff's getting textured. It's getting painted. The cabinets are going in. Flooring's going in. Counters going in. And it really starts to come together. So I'm super excited for you, and I am on standby for you. Okay. So back to school. Let me go back to our little picture there. So back to school. It's definitely back to school for us. And we want to remind people, we have I don't have one near me, but we had our little postcard that went out to most of the Horizon West area here in Winter Garden, Disney's backyard. So we have that scholarship for Horizon High School. So again, if you know of anybody, Eric brought it over to me. There it is. And then there it is. Again, this is that same postcard. I know we've shown it to you before, but that's important to us. We want as many people to enter that as possible. And then we'd like to be able to do more of those and expand that in the future. So we'll see what kind of a response we get on this one. So again, if you're going back to school, first of all, you should be watching this. You should be probably getting dressed for school. But if you are a parent and you're trying to get your kids off to school, just treasure all of those. Treasure the chaos because it very, 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 very quickly you'll be sitting here just like me going, I feel a little left out. I'm taking care of my son going off to college, but it's a little bit different. You're like sending them off into the world when they go to college as opposed to just going away for a few hours.
We're also sending our daughter back to college today. But we're not sending her. She's just going.
Yeah,
she's a senior. And
I know.
Elizabeth is watching, and we are very sad.
I know. Yeah, Elizabeth has been here. She's been with us, well, for the summer because, she's home from college as well. And she's literally leaving after coffee time.
So this will be a 4-hour coffee time. So that she doesn't leave.
I'm not going to stop talking so that she will not leave. Now, she's heading back today as well. She's a veteran at this now. She has, I don't even get me started talking about her, but so stinking proud of all the things, that she had to endure. All of the kids, COVID was a big thing for everyone. She happened to be the high school graduating class of 2020. So she didn't get that. First year of college ended up being, she was sitting in a single room by herself, at college, grateful that she had a single room to herself. But at the same time, every class was online. So it was kind of like isolated in this little room and didn't get to do a lot around campus. And it's just been a very, very different experience for her, I think, ending of high school and college. So, but you know what? She is an absolute trooper and super proud of her for not just enduring, but just really excelling through all of that, I guess we should say.
She's the coolest.
She is the coolest. We love her. So Boo Boo, you're not leaving today. Okay, good. All right. So let's move on to our second of our brewing topics. So it is the Mega Millions. Guys, we didn't win.
But there's good news.
But there's good news. So we have another one. Are you ready? We have another one. And I think we should stop doing this. Do you guys think we should stop doing this? Or are you like just invested in this?
1.5 billion. It's $1.5 billion. So we got to share.
Yeah. So I can't ever do this.
You got your button that shows.
I have my button. Yeah, my button is my button. Where's my button?
It says Mega Millions.
Mega Millions. There it is. So these are the numbers right here on my little card. These are our numbers, friends. Same thing. If you comment, like, subscribe to this particular coffee time, you'll be entered in. I think we're keeping half, and then we're going to divide the other half. I think we're all going to be just fine. So I know I said that last week too, right? But I think it's going to be okay. And that's an obscene amount of money. You have to do good with that. I mean, seriously, you have to do good with that. You can't just, hoard that for your family. And I mean, there's plenty to go around for that. So anyway.
There are plenty of examples in the world where if you have $1 billion, you can not do good with it if you want. But we would all try together to do good. And the first do good is everybody,
I know the first.
But key point, like this thing, because I would love to get like 50 likes today on the thing.
Ooh, he wants 50 likes.
Yeah, 50
Let's
likes.
do it. We can do it. I have confidence in you. Okay, so I guess 50 likes. Do what Eric just asked you to do. All right. So our third What's Brewing topic was. Sorry. Wrong button. Is to re or not to re? And that is the question. So here's the thing. This is, let me put up Eric's little graphic. This is a question I get a lot. It's also a lot of junk emails and text messages that I get all the time too. So as much as I love HGTV, I do think that sometimes there's those unrealistic expectations set. And everyone, many times people are like, hey, do you have any distressed properties? Do you have anything that, we can flip? Flipping is a real thing. 100% it's a real thing. But it isn't always conducive to every area, right? Because you really have to be the right place, the right time, the right age of a home to be able to do something like that. So let's just say the extreme flip where you're trying to, to try to get a home like on auction or something. And then you're thinking you're just going to totally gut it and remodel it and then turn around and flip it. That's one thing. Honestly, right here where we live that's not really a thing that happens a tremendous amount. So what people end up doing is they will renovate. Let's say there's a home that's, 20 years old, 25 years old, and they're ready to kind of update the fit and finish on the inside. They're ready to swap out some things and to, maybe, remove a wall or open up a kitchen or things like that. So the question is financially, and this is what we get all the time from clients, and I get this all the time about pools and solar panels. No one ever asks about renovating. They always ask about what's the benefit or detriment to adding solar panels? What's the benefit or detriment financially to adding the pool? They don't really ever say, what's the benefit or the detriment if I totally remodel my home top to bottom? And when I mean remodel, I mean totally remodel it. And like we've said with solar panels, if you're planning to live there for a long time and you're going to reap the benefit of that investment, and so it doesn't get passed on financially to assume that loan or that lease or whatever for the solar panels, then that's one conversation. But if you're just going to buy the solar panels, have them paid off, you're not going to get the same value out short term on solar panels because it's going to take you a while to save that amount of money that you put for those solar panels. Not that I'm against solar panels. I think they're great. You just have to think about what is your end goal and more importantly, what is your timeline? Same thing with the pool, right? 100%, we've said this. We experienced this. We did this. We did an entire video on this. Putting in a pool is more for your quality of life and your enjoyment on a day-to-day basis. Because if you put $100,000, $150,000 into a pool, you can't just say, oh, well, my home is now worth that much more. No, it's not, unfortunately. Wish it was, and you think it should be, but it's not. So when you talk about painting the interior and the exterior, those are really smart things to do, and they're kind of almost exterior-wise required homeowner maintenance. So when you say, oh, well, I just painted my home inside and out, well, that's great. Those are things that you should do, most especially here on the exterior of the home. So that's not something that someone necessarily is going to add value for. It just gives them more peace of mind. And yes, you can say, well, peace of mind might translate then to a little bit higher price point, but there are some things that you're going to be expected to do. If you gut your kitchen and you put all new, you remodel it, new cabinets, new counters, new appliances, new backsplash, new hardware, you add pendant lights, that can be a really great thing. But it's the same thing. How long are you going to be in the home? If you're doing this because this is a long-term home for you, you're going to plan to be there, 10, 15, 20 years, great. If you're going to be there 2 or 3 years, then you really have to think about the cost effectiveness of that, because you would be doing it for your own enjoyment at that time. You're probably not going to get all of that back when you go to sell it. Some of it, sure, absolutely, of course. But you cannot in any situation think to yourself, I put this and this and this and this and this into my home. Therefore, when we price it, I need you to add this and this and this and this and this for the home. There's very few things that you're going to get a dollar for dollar return on that when you update or renovate your home. That's not to say that you shouldn't. It's just, again, you have to know why you're doing it for the right reasons, and not doing it specifically to reap more value out of it. Eric is standing by. I can tell that he has something he wants to say. Oh, you don't? Eric has a posture where I'm like, okay, I'm talking, and he wants to chime in.
I'm producing. I'm thinking through things. No, but my internal dialogue on what you're saying is, so much of the conversation about real estate is about the money.
Yes.
It's about, is this worth it?
Correct.
Dollar-wise?
Yep.
And we just don't kind of think that way.
No, it's your quality of life.
And, when people are saying, is this a good time to buy? Is this a good time to sell? Well, do you need to buy a new home? Do you need to sell your home? Do you have to, you have a life change where you've got to move somewhere? Then, yeah, it's the perfect time to sell because you need to. So that should be like way up here. And the financial consideration should be there. If you want to redo your floors, don't redo your floors because it's going to make you money, because it's not in the short term.
Right.
Redo your floors because you want
the nicer floors. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and we did that in our first home before we built this one. We had put new, we had a flooring company come and redo both of our staircases that were carpet, and the whole upstairs bonus room, which was carpet. Our thought process was, hey, you know what? When we built the home, we'll just do that because that's included with the price of the home, because that's kind of standard. And then a few years later, once we've lived in it and that carpet might need a little bit of TLC or replacing, and we can save up for it, then we'll replace those floors. And we did. And then we replaced them downstairs as well eventually. But we kind of did it in little stages. But even though it was a great selling feature, to say, oh, it's got new floors, it's not something where on an appraisal you're going to get a line item that says, oh, it's new floors, and that's going to be worth X amount. It's considered in the valuation of the home, but it's just important. And I think Eric is exactly right. Like, half the time when we talk to people about this, we're like, well, it's your quality of life. You're going to be the one living in that kitchen. So if it's going to make your life happy for the next 2 years or 3 years while you're living in that home, to have that new beautiful kitchen that you've always dreamed of, knowing that you're going to have to move in 2 or 3 years, then you just benefited your life for 2 to 3 years. And I agree, Eric. It's not, money matters. The financial aspect of it matters, but it shouldn't necessarily always be the driving force for making those decisions.
Amy, I'm getting word.
Can we have a limit? I'm putting a limit to how many of these you can do per show.
Amy, I'm standing here in the kitchen where we've got breaking news. We just got a quote from the top realtor in Disney's backyard, and she said, and I quote, "Eric is exactly right." This is something that hasn't been spoken in many, many years. And so we wanted to bring you that report right away, because from the source, Eric is exactly right. Back to you, Amy. Reporting live from the other side of the kitchen, I'm Eric Kidwell, and exactly right.
I can't even.
You have lots of questions.
I know. I just saw everybody. I'm like, okay, so let me get a few questions. So anyway, so the to re or not to re, I think that made a little bit of sense. And think of it from two different perspectives, not always financially, but think about it for quality of life. And then I think that will help you come to terms with why you're doing it and whether or not you should. There you go. All right, let's find some questions
Go to
here.
Beth Burns' comment first. And I'm going to call up this thing.
Well, I just saw. This wasn't a question, though.
I know.
Oh, Oh, yes. So, yes. So, first of all, hi, Beth.
I'm pulling up the picture because I
yes.
didn't put it on the thing.
Oh, you didn't put it on? Beth. Okay, we're going to hold it up. So, Beth closed on her home on Friday. So honored. This is such a lovely woman. I am so excited. Okay, Eric pulled it up. So, but you can't see it on my camera. She's blurry.
Oh, here.
Here, Eric will do it. Anyway, so you're a little late coming to the party as the washer and dryer were just delivered. So Beth is going through everyone send Beth some mojo. You know, she's always here with us here on Coffee Time. He's going to try this. There you go. So Beth is literally going through the chaos and aftermath of closing on a home. It's exciting, but it is detail after detail after delivery after this, that, and the other. So let's all send her some love and congratulations for closing on her beautiful new home. And like things like refrigerator being delivered, washer dryer being delivered, the trucks coming with furniture, cables coming to get things set up, the security company is coming, all of those details. So Beth, again, you know I adore you. I want to talk to her all the time.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. So Beth, I wanted to tell you while you're watching. So Amy came back from your closing, very, very emotional about the conversation that you had with her, and it meant a lot to her. So I just wanted to tell you that as a verification. That was you did a lot for her the other day on the day she's supposed to be doing stuff for you. So thanks.
Oh, that was nice. That was a nice thing to say. Yes, absolutely the truth. Yes, she's a lovely, lovely, lovely person, and I am honored to have been able to help through the process. So congrats to you, Beth. Okay, so there's a couple questions. So let me. Everyone's saying yay, Beth. Oh, that's so sweet. See, this is it, guys. So I when I had my dance studio back in Virginia, it was my studio family. It wasn't, it wasn't my students or my moms or dads, it was my studio family. And I really do feel the same way with Heart and Home Orlando. It's our Heart and Home Orlando family. And the way you guys support each other and are so nice to each other is, boy, it's just, it's encouraging. So thank you. All right, I'm going to look for a couple questions. So I have to tell you, I know I already told you this before, but I'm using Eric's computer now, and like the keypad just doesn't fit my hands right, my fingers right, and I have to be situated weird. So my apologies. I'm slow to type. No, I'm good. Ben says, will you be doing the videos, the West Haven models, like you did for Dale Webb? So yeah, that is our plan. I will say though that like Toll Brothers is a little bit more, well, at least they used to be a little bit more picky about doing videos. And I think I've mentioned this before. I always ask. I don't just show up and start recording. I just think that's rude, to be honest. They are open models to the public, but they're not open models for you just to, use on a whim. So I always like to ask permission, but I will be reaching out to Diane. We actually just had a pre-construction meeting for my client that's finally building there. And when I was talking to the sales associate there, as soon as they are officially open, which I guess should be any time, it might even be, but they were still waiting to officially be open, and then we'll get in there and do some videos. So absolutely. Yes, becoming empty nesters soon. Any thoughts? Yeah, I'm like, the house is too big. That's what I'm thinking. So I can see now why people downsize. I'm not going anywhere because, it's not even been 2 years that we're in this home. So all I can hope and pray is that the purpose, the visions that I had for this home for the future with our children and their spouses and future grandchildren is that this is the place to come to Mimi and Poppy's house. So we're hoping that that's still true. But yeah, it's like, and so we're not only empty nesters, but if you really think about it, we already said my oldest lives in Virginia. He's got his own house. My daughter and son-in-law are married. They have their own house. My other daughter and son-in-law have their own house that we should be closing on in just a few weeks. And when all of that, officially out of college and officially out of the Army, then they'll be living there full time. And I'm like, so 3 of the 4 kids won't be living at home. My 4th is going to be at college. And, so yeah, it feels weird, I think. But because at the moment, Elizabeth is upstairs with the dogs and Dawson is still sleeping in the room, at the moment, it still feels like normalcy to me. But yeah, it's going to be weird a little bit, I think. So, Pam says, how do I think I can stop breaking news? I don't think I can. I can't stop. I can't. But I live with this man. So It's great, by the way. He's fantastic. But don't do it. Don't do it. Don't.
I'm not going to do it.
Okay, good. He was walking over. He was walking over, Pam. Do not encourage this. Anyway.
It's not breaking news that I'm great. Okay, sorry. That was a joke. No, the breaking news thing, I mean, it's sort of like, it's fun, but I do have to temper my breaking news. I got to come up with some other graphics, but it's fun.
It is pretty fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Once or twice.
By the way, you knew what you were getting into.
Well, yeah.
I am the same guy.
I know, he is.
Same as it ever was, as the talking head said.
Yes, true. Don't start now. You're going to have a song in your head. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so remember, just as a quick reminder, if you do have questions, I'm going to delete that out. If you do have questions, don't forget to put a capital Q, preferably Q and a colon, so that we can scan them, and I'll try to get to those as we go through. But let's go ahead and let's move on to, what was the other one? Our word of the day?
You can do word, you can do either secret, you can do whatever.
Let's do the word of the day. So where's the word? What the word? It's the word. Okay, here it is. The word of the day.
Oh, now come on, Amy, tell me what's the word.
Okay, the word today is comps. Before we go to this, it's just because it happened to have. I can't get the little cursor's not moving for me. But anyway, Jane is here. Oh, yeah. It's because of that, right? Anyway, Jane says, "Hi guys, weird that we're back home now. I'm far away. I have my special coffee cup ready to go. Will you hand me that one that's on the tip top over there?" Yep. So that's something we'll talk about here in a second. So just keep me that, and then when I get off, I'm going to go back to Jane's comment. Jane, stay tuned. Give me 2 seconds. Let me go through comps.
Well, you can go wishes too on there and get up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let me go through comps real quick. So comps, that's our word for the day. So comps, that doesn't mean like if you have tickets to an event, someone has comped you and they're just going to give them to you. Complimentary is what that is kind of standing for. In real estate terms, comps mean comparables. So that's going to mean like or similar properties to the one you are interested in. So if you are listing your home, when we search for a valuation, we are searching comps. And comps are the comparable properties, whether it's square footage, floor plan that's the same, whether it's a bed bath count, whether it's in the same neighborhood, things like that are going to make that home similar or comparable to yours. And we use that information, both what it was listed at, what it sold for, price per square foot. We can look at again, bed bath count. You can make adjustments, lot differences. Maybe that home was on the corner and yours is interior. You make those adjustments. And not appraisers, right? So we are not appraising the property. We are evaluating it. We are trying to determine its value. And using a lot of the deep data dive, as we talk about, between Forrest with his data analysis and Eric and his number crunching, we are able to really kind of hone in, and then obviously knowledge of the area helps us to come up with those comparables. So comps in real estate terms means comparables, and that's going to, okay, here you go. So Eric showed me, so this is a page of our home pulse. Upside down, but this is, you don't really need to see it specifically. But this particular page is one of the pages of our home pulse. And what we do is at the tip top, it'll show, hey, here's a similar floor plan or the same floor plan that sold at a specific price. And then we make whatever adjustments need to happen. And then we can determine, well, if that home sold for that amount, then your home would likely be able to sell for this amount. And that's really what comparables are. They're comparable or like properties that are similar, either floor plan, community, square footage, bed, bath count, things like that, and kind of mesh all of that information and that data to come up with with an accurate valuation for yours. So that was a good one. That's a good word for today. Okay. So let me go. See, it's not, I know, but see, can you come fix it? Because the cursor's not working.
It's probably over on the other screen.
I didn't see it. It's not moving. So I can't do it. Oh, there it was. He found it. He saved it. He's a hero, everyone. Okay. Breaking news. So we're gonna go to wishes, but Jane, just because you're here. So Jane was here with her lovely family, and we met. When was it, Jane? Was it last? When? I don't know. It was last week. It seems like it was forever ago because days go so crazy. But when they were here, I gave them a couple of the welcome home coffee mugs And so she said she's using her coffee mug. So cheers to you, my new friend. I only wish that you lived a little bit closer so we could see each other all the time. I think that is the most fun. You know, they were here on holiday, right? They were vacationing. You know, the whole family was here. You know, home buying wasn't their point for the visit. Maybe in the future, we're hoping. But you know, you guys are so important to me that I can't have you be in town and not take the time to come see you.
Can you show the picture? Do your wish
Oh, well,
to,
I was going to do
button.
the wish to button. Wish to,
top row, over red.
I've got it. There you go. Yay. So there's Jane when we came in town. And by the way, that is the cutest picture of you ever. That's the one I picked because you're so stinking cute. She was laughing and smiling, and that is just genuine joy right there. But we went at the French Cafe here in Hamlin. Got to chat. I'm sure the kids were bored, but it was really lovely meeting you guys in person. And she did. She said she sang Hamlin while they were here. So anyway, so it was really good to see you, and I can't wait to see you again. And I know, you know, we're far apart. It's not as easy to communicate, but, you know, still always here. Anyway, I love you guys. Okay, so let me go back here. So then, so where were we? Going to wishes, weren't we?
We were going to, but there's a few more questions.
Are there a few more questions? Okay, let me go back.
And there's one question she didn't put a Q on.
Oh my gosh. What's happening? The cursor goes away again. Eric has to fix it again. I don't. Well,
I'm going to get you a mouse and a keyboard.
All right, see, you're struggling too. He's struggling too.
It goes over there because it's a double
Why does it
monitor
go over
thing.
there?
So find
Technology, not my
I
friend.
want you to find Donna.
Donna?
Oh, Donna.
There she is. No.
Maybe. Yep, there you go. Boom, right there. Do that one.
All right. Okay. Donna. Hi, Amy and Eric. We just listed our house in Virginia. We refinished our hardwood floors and put new carpeting in bedrooms. Had a showing and someone showed up with a dog. Oh my gosh. Has that ever happened to you? Aww.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So things like that, when you're doing some updates and things that you think are going to help sell the home, we go kind of back to our renovation type thing. I mean, again, I do think it's important to some things kind of need to be done to make a home show better. To not give cause or concern, or not that yours was, but lots of people will update by updating some flooring and things before they sell. I'm so sorry about that.
But I mean, no. I think the point is somebody brought a dog to the showing.
Yeah, no, that's nobody should do that.
I don't know if you remember. We had an open house at a bungalow here in Hawksmoor, and we had an open house. I'm sitting in the open house, and a woman comes in, and just walks in with her dog. Now, no one loves dogs more than we do.
We love dogs.
But she walks in with her dog, and I said, I'm sorry, ma'am. And this was a home, actually, the homeowner had a child that had severe dog allergy. So we're like, if you could please leave your dog outside, but she was there by herself. So I ended up walking the dog while she looked around the house. Yeah. It was very weird.
And again, we love our pets, so we're not criticizing anyone that loves their pets so much that they go everywhere with them. But it is not appropriate to bring them with you when you're touring homes. If you cannot leave your dog somewhere, because that can happen, right? Maybe you're out of town. Maybe your dog is with you. Maybe you would have him or her in the hotel room with you. But then you designate someone to stay with the dog in the car, or someone to walk the dog down the street, and then you swap off, I have had people bring dogs to open houses, and I mean, they shouldn't. And it's very awkward because it makes you feel like you're being mean. But you don't know. I mean, that's just presumptuous, right? As much as we love our fur babies, I would never just show up somewhere with one of my dogs and assume I can just walk in with them. So I'm sorry that happened to you, but
bother.
But I am glad that you did some of your stuff, and you said it just went. You just listed it. So let me know when it goes under contract. That'll be exciting. And then send me the listing, because I like to see my old Virginia homes. Okay, so let me send more questions.
Last more question. So do your Q search.
Yes, I'm doing my Q search. Okay. Fanny Wilkes, Waterley Emerald, going to return anytime soon. I noticed they're clearing more land, still patiently waiting for the right thing to come along. Yeah, so actually, Eric, can you go?
You need the Jess list?
I think it's on my desk, unless you have one for sure.
I can print one in 2 seconds.
All right, well, why don't you just print it? So to your question, so yes, there are supposed to be another section of the emeralds, but still not quite there yet. And they have the land there. Gosh, I mean, I don't know how much more they're going to be building in there, but it seems like they just keep going and going and going, don't they? Keep in mind, this is something that I actually, so every Wednesday is the day that they have their builder and sales meetings. And so every Wednesday afternoon after the meeting is over, I get my update from the builder as to what was released that day. Or what didn't sell from last week when it was released. And keep in mind that this builder is more of an inventory-based builder, so they're going to be building homes all the time. So you don't really pick the lot, pick the floor plan, pick all the design options necessarily and have it built for you. It's usually already well under construction, through permitting, under construction, design options typically chosen, although not always, but most times, thank you, babe, are chosen, and then you purchase it from there. Now that being said, they have their banner, their signature, and their Emerald series, which are going to be their bungalows, rear entry garage. That's going to be their front load garage. Thank you. And then their Emerald series. The Emerald series are the ones that are going to go typically on the perimeter. They're slightly larger home sites. They also have tile roofs. They have some standard upgrades in them, if that makes sense. And I say standard, I mean every Emerald home is going to have a level of upgrade simply because it is an Emerald series, which is more of their luxury series. So it's going to automatically have some higher end fit and finish on the inside. Even though it's still a package-based design package, it's still higher end with the finishes. And they're absolutely beautiful. All of them are absolutely stunning. But I always tell people, if you're waiting, everyone's like, oh, I like that North Haven. Yeah, I do too. And that North Haven, when they start to come back out, it's going to be $1 million easy. Easy. As of right now, this is the most recent release. There are 2 Belmore floor plans, almost 800,000, 791 and 790. Well, no, it is 800. So 791 and 799, 990. So almost 800,000 for a Belmore. There is one Belmore at 680. There's some Cresswells, which is a little over 2,800 square feet, which are going to be also in the mid sevens. Kentons and Torreys. Those are all the larger of the front load garage that are not Emerald, and those are all in the mid to high 7s, 8s. So you can imagine when those Emeralds come back where they're going to be. Now, obviously, I do not have definitive pricing on that. I'm just kind of giving everybody that expectation.
I think people know, but talk about a Belmore, because you said that the larger of the things, not so much with a Belmore.
Not
we
with
were
a
talking
Belmore.
about that right before the show.
I was talking about that. So one of the things that is most shocking to me, and by the way, love this builder, love this community. My daughter and son-in-law live in the community. I have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of clients that live in the community. And we would have probably built in there if there was a floor plan that perfectly suited what we were looking for. But the Belmore is a 1-story, and I use this kind of as my thermometer, I guess, my gauging point for all of the 1-stories around. Because as a 1-story, it is a 1-story front load garage, 2-car garage, 4 bedrooms, and 3 full baths. It's a great floor plan to have a 1-story with 4 bedrooms and 3 baths. 2,113 square feet. So it's a fabulous floor plan. Always sells like crazy. It's one of the nicest 1-story floor plans. However, it's a supply and a demand thing. Sometimes it's a home site thing, but the Belmore at the moment, if you take those prices that I just gave you, it is not it's actually this, I don't know if it's the smallest, but it's definitely on the smaller end of the series with the front load garage. That one at those prices is selling for like $378 a square foot. That's redonkadonk when you think comparatively speaking. Whereas the larger 2-story homes are actually selling substantially less price per square foot at $232 a square foot ish. Okay, because they're all priced differently, and it is going to be priced differently because there's going to be lot premiums that are associated or assessed with one property that may not be as large with the one that's right next to it. Again, the Belmore, they know they have a great floor plan there, so they tend to put that as a nice 1-story on some really nice home sites, which is going to increase that value for sure. But that is a big disconnect, if you ask me, when I think about these floor plans, the square footage, and the price per square foot. It's kind of cuckoo crazy to go with a smaller home at a substantially higher $378 a square foot price point to a larger home at over 3,200 square feet at only $232 price per square foot. It's a little bit of a disconnect, and it always boggles my mind. And it's one of the hardest things, honestly, for people to wrap their head around. And this isn't really where I was going to go with this, but I want to go ahead. I think it's a good kind of a segue to something that Eric and I have been talking about a lot too. There are sometimes people that when they are looking, they're like, I want this house. I want a 2-story. It needs to be about 4,000 square feet. I'd love to have my own private pool. I'd like a 3-car garage. I'd like this, that, and the other. And I'd like it to be in Winter Garden, preferably. And, I'd like that for about, 700,000. Okay. Well, actually 700,000 is a little bit more like doable. Let's just say they want that for 550, 600,000. That just isn't really going to happen. The 3-car garage alone is going to limit you because there's not a lot of floor plans that have a 3-car garage. And the reason there's not a lot of floor plans that have a 3-car garage is because the home sites are too narrow. And I won't say too narrow, it's just very indicative of new construction. So then you have to continue, you have to think through this and look at a floor plan on a plat of land. If you have a 3-car garage, it's going to be a tandem, and then there's not a lot of space left on the first floor, so then it has to be a 2-story. So it's just hard for those people that are looking for something specific that doesn't exist. And then honestly, I've had someone got mad at me last week, and they're like, I just don't know that it's going to work out because, we're not getting anything on the property search. I'm like, because what you're looking for doesn't exist. And that's not my fault. Your expectation is not where it needs to be, even though I'm trying to explain that politely. There's 2 things that need to happen. You need to increase the price point, which sometimes is not an option. I totally get it. Or you have to broaden your area that you're looking. And that's true everywhere, guys. Where you live, where I live, where they live, that's true everywhere. You have to have an accurate expectation of what you can get for your money in a specific area, right? We hear this all the time, but it goes back to all of that emotional energy. You're wasting your time and you're stressing yourself out expecting something that doesn't exist, where if you had maybe reached out to the realtor first before you start determining what it is that you want and where it is that you want it, we can help guide you. Hey, you know what? This price point, if you can maybe up it a little bit to here, you're going to get exactly what you want. But if, price sometimes has to be the exact, that's the non-negotiable, right? Bank's only going to lend us what they're going to lend us. Or the cash limit is the cash limit. Or maybe we just have to open it up because there's some beautiful new communities over here in this area that's growing and thriving that are going to match your price point. So let your realtor help you. And speaking of that, would you call your realtor first? Do you know how many times people are like, again, Eric said it just happened today. We're building, or we went to go, went to such and such a community. I'm like, if you're going, call your realtor first. I hope it is me, but if it is not, you need to make sure that you're not doing that on your own. You're going to set yourself up for a little bit of trouble potentially. So anyway.
Hey, on the note of that
yes.
price thing, why don't you see what Allie knows nothing about?
I will do. Allie knows nothing. She knows so much though.
In real estate, I hear a lot about how essential pre-approval is, but what exactly is so essential about it? And does it still apply if I'm not looking to buy a house for the next few months?
That is a good question. And I know we've talked about this before, but sometimes you don't know who saw what, who's paying attention, who came in late, and who cut out early. So first of all, there's a difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval. People like to interchange those 2 terms, but they don't mean the same thing. You can do a pre-qualification or a pre-qual, that some people refer to it because they think they're cool. You could do a pre-qualification in some cases just online, like with builders' websites or mortgage calculators, online lenders. You can just punch in a couple of things, and that's left to your own device and your own honesty. And it's going to ask you some basic questions, and based on those basic questions, they're going to give you a pre-qualification on what you are likely to be approved for once you actually go for a pre-approval. It's not an in-depth search. It is not a credit pull. It's not a review of your financial documents. It's just based on some numbers. And that's up to you to be honest with how much it is that you make and how much you owe. And a lot of times people that are entering in those little calculators are forgetting some big things that are going to affect that pre-approval. Now, let's jump to the pre-approval part of it. So a pre-approval also has a little bit of a misnomer because a pre-approval can still be conditional. right? So a conditional pre-approval may mean that you are pre-approved for this amount, which by the way is a much deeper dive. That is verified financial information. They have pulled your credit score. They have looked at your financial documents. You have provided some of those financial documents to them. But that pre-approval can be conditional where it's like, yes, you're pre-approved for this amount once you sell your existing home and you have that additional funds. At that point, you're going to be, we can remove that condition, so to speak. But if you are out looking for a home, back to Allie's question, if you're not looking for a few months, remember that pre-approvals last for about 90 days. So it's not going to really expire on you until about 3 months later. Obviously, during that time, I don't want it to sound like you're, it's all hunky-dory. During that 3 times, you have to be diligently aware of what it is that you're spending, not opening up any new credit cards, not closing any new credit cards, don't co-sign, don't go buy a car, don't really make huge adjustments to your financial situation during that time. But if you're at the end of your 3 months while you've been house hunting and you just still haven't found anything, you typically can call that lender and say, hey, look, we're still looking. Can you, reevaluate and extend this, issue a new pre-approval with, a little bit more time. But usually 3 months is enough time to find that house. So if you're not looking for a few months, then just wait and do that pre-approval, close enough to where we can start looking, because we really do need that number to know what that number looks like. And back to the thing I mentioned before about having that realistic expectation, allowing you and your realtor to know what that number is allows us to know where we can go shopping. And, is that going to be well within the price point in the area that you're looking? Is it going to open up doors to other communities that you didn't even know existed? Or is it going to potentially eliminate some communities that you had originally had your eye on? So there's just some things that you need to consider with that pre-approval, but definitely work on that. And again, I cannot reiterate it enough. I was at a closing the other day, and it was funny because the closing agent said the exact same thing that I had just said on, I think, Coffee Time before. And Carrie and Buck, who were closing on their beautiful home, I think it was their closing. And she's like, oh, when it's the same lender or local lender, it's so much easier. It's the outside lenders, like on the West Coast. And she actually used a perfect example too. Like, she's like, yeah, they're just working on their own timeline and they don't care that we're on East Coast hours. And so anyway, so when you do that pre-approval, reach out to a local lender. If you need help with that, reach out to me and we'll get you set up. I have several that I refer clients to all the time. So anyway, all right, moving on. Was there something you wanted to say, dear? Nope. He says no. He's just standing there shaking his head. Nope. Okay, so let's move on then. Let's go to crunching the numbers.
Well, yeah, do the one we introduced. Concept on the first one. You have 2 buttons there, so do the first button.
The first button? Oh, yes, the crunching the numbers. The first button. Okay, first button.
Because it's that.
Go, because it's that. That's just the graphic. I got you. I thought it was the video. That's the next one.
So
okay.
I'll share. We wanted to figure out. So there's one gas station here in town.
Do you want to be on camera right now?
No.
Okay.
So we wanted to figure out like what it actually costs us for gas, because gas is $3.80 a gallon right now. Yeah. Wow. And so we wanted to figure out how much it's actually costing us to get to the gas station and back. Right. So that's what this is about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and we've said that that's what we're waiting on, some more gas stations. And until we get them, this is an important one. So here we go, crunching the numbers.
What does only having one gas station in Horizon West actually cost the average driver? Let's crunch the numbers. If you live in Horizon West, you know that the only gas station is at Walmart on New Independence Parkway. That means that if you want to get gas locally, you only have one place to go, and it can be very crowded. Let's say you live in Waterley and need to get gas. Gas is currently about $3.80 a gallon. Wow. The most popular car in the area is the Toyota Corolla, which gets 32 miles to the gallon, so the 8-mile drive back and forth from the gas station takes a quarter of a gallon of gas, which at current prices costs about 95 cents. The Corolla's gas tank is 13 gallons, so a fill-up will cost you $49. But in Horizon West, it really costs you $50 because you had to drive so far to get gas in the first place. Soon, we'll have a 7-Eleven at the Mark and a Wawa near Wincy Groves, and you'll save 50 cents a trip to either of those spots. You'll be able to buy a small Slurpee every 2 trips to 7-Eleven or a Hoagie every 10 trips to Wawa with your savings. Assuming you get gas during Hoagie Day.
I love it. I love that in-depth look at the numbers and being able to think of things in a different way. So yeah, so ultimately, where we are now, it costs you about $1, right, to drive to the gas station to get it where the current gas station is here in Horizon West.
And that's if you're getting 32 miles a gallon. If you've got a gas guzzler, it's costing you twice that. So.
Yeah. So that's a really interesting way to think of it. We've always said we need more gas stations here, and thankfully they are coming. They're just not here yet. So at the moment, your main option is to go to Walmart up at Hamlin, which is great. Often busy. Excuse me.
Yep. Yeah, and here's the thing. So that Walmart, they've had a few pumps shut down. And so if you live around here, when you pull in there to get gas, it can be brutal. You can sit there for a long time because literally there are no other gas stations around for several miles. And they had 5 pumps out the other day, and I drove up to Winter Garden Village to get gas because I'll get it faster by driving 5 miles up the road than I would there. It cost me another $1.
It cost you more. Yeah. So from here, I mean, the other closest gas stations are is exactly where Eric said at Winter Garden Village, up in that direction, or to go all the way down to Erlo Bronson, and there's a Wawa on the corner of Avalon and Erlo Bronson. So those are kind of the 2 places to go to get gas. So exactly. Are they going to put one at Flamingo Crossings?
Yes.
Okay, there'll be another one too. So
I think it's also 7-Eleven.
It's getting there. Like we're starting to get there, but it's. Again, this whole area of Horizon West is such a new-ish thing that all of us and the people way before me that initially purchased in here, you really had to do so with a big amount of faith that all of these things were going to finally come to fruition. And we're getting there. We are getting there. We definitely need more services around here for us, but it is such a stinking great place to live. We love it. And Jim, I want to pop up Jim's real fast because Jim, they closed on their home couple weeks ago now at this point, right? It was maybe a month. Has it been a month? I'm going to sneeze in a minute. Sorry, I'm going to try not to sneeze. Anyway.
Amy has not sneezed.
See why?
I was trying to cut it in so that you could to cover your sneeze. It didn't work out.
That's okay. Anyway, Jim said, "Why didn't we move here sooner? We love it." I know, Jim. I have to tell you, it warms my heart so much to see how happy you are. All your cars, by the way, I love that. And then just to see you really embracing living where you live and enjoying Disney so much, and just really focusing on the things that matter most in life. So you are absolutely an inspiration. We enjoy watching you enjoy living here so much. So again, thank you for letting us be a part of your journey there. So, all right. So I am going to see if there's any more questions. Are there any more?
Yeah, I mean, I think,
Oh, wait. I need to, Susie, Julia.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I know. So I got this beautiful mug. I don't even know if I showed you my mugs today. Did I show you my mug? So this is the one I've got my water in today. It says be kind, and it does say it on both sides. So as a lefty, I get to see it on both sides. But it's funny because Elizabeth was saying, I was like, have I used this mug yet? She's like, no, because I think every time you're looking for it, I've used it, and it was upstairs or something. So it's mine today. It's just got water in it, though, which I should probably sip. But I got a sweet gift in the mail from sweet Julia. And I don't remember the exact story of this. I should pull it up. But she purchased this somewhere. I don't know if it was like a garage sale or a yard sale or an estate sale, or if it was at a shop or a store or something. But it's beautiful, like ceramic. I love the blue on it. And she bought this, and then, she bought it for herself, I'm sure. And then she said that as she was drinking coffee, she couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. And then she said she remembered and realized that it looks like it's more of a left-handed mug, because when I am as a lefty, I get to see the pretty blue, which, by the way, and she didn't even know this blue and kind of that little floral leaf type thing is kind of all over my house. So it blends perfectly. So thank you for this. This I'm actually not going to put coffee in. I'm going to have this on display because I think it's so beautiful. It needs to be seen all the time. So thank you for that. That was very sweet. So, okay. So let me go back and, did you say there? Who did? Lisa. Are mother-daughter homes a thing in the area? Do you mean like a multi-gen? Yeah. If you're looking, yeah, there are, and that's really what we call them. Instead of mother-daughter, we call them multi-generational homes, multi-gen. Maybe that should be a word one day. Multi-gen There are some floor plans. D.R. Horton has quite a few of them. I believe the Camden is a fantastic one. I think it's the Camden. And they have that in a few of their communities. Lennar actually has some floor plans that are conducive to that. But I like to look at homes, excuse me, that to let people think and be creative about it. Because sometimes you can really adapt a home that has a Jack and Jill bathroom, so 2 bedrooms connected by a Jack and Jill. That is a really great way to utilize a more like there's more of those floor plans around that you can utilize that as a potential option, and that person, whether it's the mother or the daughter or the in-laws or whomever, they could use both of those rooms. One could be their bedroom, that's their private bathroom, and then the other room could be their private like living room or something. And that gives people a way to have their own little mini apartment within a home that isn't necessarily designed to be such. But there are a few communities or a few floor plans like that. So multi-gen, I wish there were more of them. I'm going to be honest. I wish that was a product line and a concept that more builders gave you structural options for, if that makes sense. Because I think it's something that we all really need. It's definitely something that I see clients asking for. So hopefully the builders will get on board with that. So,
hey, I was over there producing, and did you mention your listing that you have now? We'll have the video out for this week. Did you mention that, like the barn door thing?
Yes. Yeah. So we do actually have a listing that is, it's in Windermere. It's beautiful. It's a 2-story home. The primary and 2 other bedrooms are upstairs, but there is a bedroom on the first floor. Directly outside of it is a full bathroom. And then it's almost like when you come in, you turn to the right, like a little bit of a hallway. And that video is going to be up on Wednesday, correct? So on Wednesday, that home tour video is going to be out. So look for that. But what the owners did, I think it's so smart, and I see this happen a lot, and I think it's a great idea. They did a beautiful barn door, but it's not a rustic barn door. Like, it's not like wood barn. It's really pretty. It's like it's almost like it's a frosted glass sliding door, barn door type of effect. And what that does is you keep it open, and so that bedroom and that bathroom is just an extended part of the home for guests, friends, or family to stay. And the barn door looks like a nice little piece of art. But if you do have someone who's staying with you, then you just slide that barn door and it's like they've got their own little private suite. So I think that was a really smart idea for them. And it was one of the reasons they chose that floor plan, because not many of them give you the ability to do that. So that's good.
Just Kim asked, I don't know if you see it, you don't have to call it up, but she just wanted to know how the bumpity bumps.
The bumpity bump, still bumpity bump, but it's not quite as bumpity bump.
Getting closer,
It's getting closer for sure. Yeah, getting there. You should probably know that, right? It's getting there. It's getting closer. And as soon as it does, be super close. Right? Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on. What was the next thing? What I'm watching. Oh, this is so good. I have to watch some more of this. I'm hooked. Okay, so I'm watching Fear of the Walking Dead, or Fear of the Walking Dead. And I think I told you The Walking Dead, my daughter and son-in-law and my other daughter had me start watching with them before. Never when it was on TV, but we did the Netflix thing. And it was so much fun to go watch an episode or 2 of The Walking Dead. So we watched that series. Totally not what I ever would have thought that I would enjoy, because I don't like gore and stuff like that. But this was a little bit different because, it's different. It's like, it's a different vibe. And so my daughter mentioned the other day that there's this series that's now out on Netflix, or no, it was on Prime, I think. And now I have to subscribe to something else. But at any rate, that's where I am at the moment. So, and it's really, it's just interesting. I mean, like I said, my taste is all over the place. So, I love it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait. What? Hold on. Allie just texted something. Oh, I'll say, hold on. Everyone, stand by. So Alyssa just translated.
Oh, yeah, from Brazil.
Oh, okay. So what here, where was it?
RBS, put a thing on there. She can put the comment up.
Oh, where is it?
Is
it near the bottom? Da. Sorry, guys. I know you can't see what I'm seeing, but.
Well, hit the comments button. They can see.
Wait, hold on. Okay, so there we go. Oh, did it again.
You can find it.
Okay. I'm scrolling.
You can search RBS.
Oh my gosh, you guys have a lot of comments.
Right.
I have to go
I'm
back
pulling
and
it
read
up
this at
behind
the end. Okay. Oh, there it is right here.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay, so, did it again. The cursor goes away. I don't understand why it goes away.
Because we're working two screens today.
We're working two screens today. All right. Okay, so, this is the comment. Okay. So we are from Brazil. I can't read it. All right, hold on. But Alyssa translated it. Where did she translate it? On what one? Where did she send it? She just sent it to me. All right, Eric's going to find it because she translated it. So I'm going to keep the comment up until we figure out what the translation is. But so as always, though, guys, we enjoy people watching. It just, yes, sir?
We are following you, Amy. You are a blessing in our lives.
Aww.
From Venkash and Christina.
Okay, I don't know how to write it back, but I do know this. Abrazo.
Nice.
Is that right? Does that mean hugs?
That's not Christina that you spoke to last week, is it? Okay.
So, all right. We are so excited to see people like from all over. We were talking to a new listing that we'll talk about that in a minute. That I know a secret. We do need to do that. I know a secret. So we were having a conversation about, not everyone finds me through YouTube, which is kind of crazy because most everyone does, right? Most everybody finds me through all of the different social media aspects. And it all started with the home tour videos, right? But they're not always. Sometimes I'm referred to somebody else, or from somebody else. And we were talking about this. And I said, the thing that is the most amazing to me and the reason that I do this specifically is how exciting that in this massively large, big world, you can connect with people in other countries that are just as important to you as your family. So all of you, thank you so much. And especially those of you that are out of the country, that it amazes me that anybody would take any time in their day to watch this. But thank you for doing that. Okay. The last thing I was going to do was what? What was know a secret? I do. I know a secret. So hold on. Let me find my secret button. There it is. I know a secret. Okay, so this is a secret. This is not an active listing yet. This is in the historic downtown Winter Garden area, like 2 blocks from Plant Street. So if you are familiar with downtown Winter Garden and Plant Street, which is connected to the West Orange Trail, where it's the Hallmark movie setting, right? It's our version of the Hallmark movie setting, the cobblestone streets, the old theater, mom and pop shops, boutiques, great bistros and eateries, fantastic restaurants, always decorated for the holidays, farmers market on Saturdays. It's that iconic spot in Winter Garden. In that area, just 2 blocks down the street, is a amazing opportunity that's going to be coming on the market. It is a 1-story, 3-bedroom, 2-bath home that has been completely redone. It is a fenced-in backyard, new landscaping, and again, we talked the whole to re or not to re. This is kind of one of those scenarios where is going to get a substantial amount of that back, but never the full amount. But literally such a gem. I can't wait. I've actually already shown it to a couple of clients just to kind of, put some feelers out there. This should be coming on the market sometime in early September, I believe. So stay tuned for that one. If you are interested in being in that area, like literally it's walking distance, like to right there into the center of that downtown Winter Garden. So amazing spot. Yes, sir.
You have some important questions at the very bottom from someone that's really good questions.
Okay, well, the problem is, again, the cursor's gone.
It's over here. See the cursor right there?
Yeah.
So you got to bring it over across the
Okay, hold on. He's going to well, I don't know why.
Slide all the way to the left.
All the way to the left. Is this the left?
Yeah, there you go.
Is that the left?
There.
I don't know. All right. Eric, what questions do you have for me, dear?
There you go.
Guys.
That's such a good question.
When you're alone and life is making you lonely, where can you go? Downtown. Okay.
Now, actually, the next question.
Oh, everyone else answered it.
But what was my next question?
The next question is, when you've got worries, what? Oh, when you've got worries, all the noise and the hurry seems to help. Where can I go? Downtown.
Just take a walk and listen to the traffic in the city. I'm trying to get you to get out of here.
I know. He's like, get out, Amy. We're done. Okay, guys, we are done. I don't think there's any buttons that I forgot to hit at this point. Except the one that he likes me to do, which is the promo one, which I always forget to do. So he'll do it right now. Anyway, so as always, guys, hopefully you had some fun with me this morning. Again, I'm sorry I didn't truly enjoy coffee with you, but I did have some water and I did have a Diet Coke. Other than that, we will see you next week. I will be here. So next week I'm on as normal, and then we're going to have to give you a week by week play because it's going to be so chaotic coming up. Again, if you're going back to school, enjoy this moment. Take those pictures. You'll miss it, honestly, in just a few years. So as always, guys, we really appreciate you. Please stay safe, stay well. Remember, we love you. We really do from the bottom of our hearts. Have a great day and happy house hunting. Bye. I have to hit the button. You never give me a button. He never gives me the button to say goodbye.
I think I did.
You didn't. I don't see it.
It's on there.
He didn't. He didn't do it. Remember last week? I was right.
Oh, yeah.
See?